Fire away.
So, Steve, where were you before working together here at ESU or at ECU? And what I mean by that is, talk to me a little bit about, what was going on in your career.
Sure. I was working for a Fortune 200 company. I was a department manager, promised to be a director. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, traveling 150 days a year. And I was having some employee problems, not getting the support to make those changes. And quite frankly, was hitting burnout between all the things that were going on, and was frustrated. And it played a real negative influence in my personal life, in my own life.
Absolutely. It's not a lot of people don't talk about it, but I talk about it frequently, saying, hey, if you don't feel good at work, it's really hard to come home and be a good father and be a good husband, because you can't tell me dealing with all that during the day doesn't affect you. It absolutely does. So my next question is, at what point did you say, I might need help with my search? Were you trying it for a while, applying online, or were you just I really don't know where to start type of thing?
Sure. I took a bit of a break from work. I separated, took about 6 weeks off, which quite frankly, I had never done. I'd been working full time since I was 14. And it was quite odd. At about 3 weeks in, I'm like, wait, this is weird. And so I started playing a little bit and dusted off my LinkedIn profile. And quite frankly, I had never had to write a resume. I think my only resume I wrote was for my first job. And so I wrote down some things and looked at it. And I hired one of the companies that was part of one of the job boards. Hey, we'll do your resume. Got it back, paid my couple $100 for it. And then I ran it through one of those resume, as it pick up things. And it didn't. It was about a 40% on that. And I'm like, I just spent $200. That's not right. And wait, I'm getting no responses on these calls and or applications I'm filling out, which are taking up a boatload of time. This system's broken. It really didn't feel like it worked. And I hadn't been in that situation before, so I didn't know what to expect, but it just felt wrong from a business perspective. And so I started doing some research, and I looked for, hiring a headhunter to, what are programs that are out there. And I've been one to be sort of persistent and self-charged. And so I really liked what you guys presented in, here's a roadmap and a process. You got to do the work. And it made sense for me because it's my life and my career. And I've been thinking about this, and I've invested in myself a number of times. One of the best things I ever invested in was LASIK surgery. I am wearing glasses right now from reading, but it was one of the best things I invested in. This is really right there. This is a great investment in myself.
Excellent. Yeah. What I tell people during the intake calls is we treat this like a fitness program, if you hire a coach, but don't go to the gym, you're not going to get in shape. And I also tell people I wish I could, but I can't go on the interview for you. I could just make sure you're prepared. So,
I could have used you on one of them, but that's okay.
I always love when we're on the group calls or individual calls and someone's like, man, I was on an interview, it didn't go well, and they said this, and I didn't know. What would you have said? I would have said this. Why didn't I say that? And I'm like, hey, hindsight's always 20/20. What did you find most valuable about working together? Valuable, because I do know we had opportunities, referrals inside of our network, networking, using our automated system, using our different stuff to build this pipeline. But some people say it was the group calls, the community, Christine, our mindset coach, or what do you think was the most valuable, or was it the automated system? I'm not sure.
I found the most valuable part, the process, and finding enough of the pieces of the process to stay on the roadmap and to be consistent with that, the consistency on it. And that really was the group calls. That was the individual calls. If I had to rank the most important pieces, I would say my individual calls with Diane were probably the most impactful, followed closely by Christine. I feel the ability to see the mapping on the connection part through now Asperis and LinkedIn. Quite frankly, as I've talked to people and referencing and successful business people, the power of LinkedIn and learning how to use that tool, it's mind blowing.
Sales Navigator alone, imagine just being able to quickly search companies, search whoever you want to get a hold of in just a matter of seconds. It's really wild.
Well, part of this is I actually did a couple patents while I was working for stuff, looking for stuff, and I'm using Sales Navigators for my side hustle on 3 projects right now.
Absolutely.
And I think
You
I
could
have
use
a,
this
I
as
think I have a
business
customer.
development.
I think I have a supplier that's going to buy one of my ideas right now.
There you
which
go.
is pretty cool.
Our secret thing. So we let you know, guys, if you watch this video, ECU's marketing strategy of how we gain new business is the same marketing strategy that we try to get you on conversation. So, hey, I know it happened well for you. So I know we're looking at this new successful startup. You basically said, you know, you got to increase north of, 50 or 60K and all the bells and whistles aligned for your deal. And it looked like it happened a little over, 60 days. What advice would you have if someone's watching this video right now and they're probably on the edge saying they're considering working with us? If they were right here, right now, what would you say to them?
I would say that it is a process. You have a great network of team if you like the team environment, but you have to be self-motivated. You have to push yourself. I think this is a great program from that perspective, because no one's going to do it for you, but you have a lot of teamwork and team effort to help you get there. You've got some great football analogy, blockers and tacklers. You've got someone that's going to get the ball in your hands, but you've got to take that and you've got to find the way to go left or go right or go through. And I think that what the ECU team provides is really good support from that. And that are the members that are there. That is the alumni that are there, and the coaches that are there to help you get there. But you've got to take the time to want to put into it.
Absolutely.
I would also say that one of the biggest frustrations I hear from people is, gosh, I'm in it now, but you've only been in it for 3 weeks. It really is about 4 to 5 weeks before things really start to become clear.
Yeah.
And I think as I've talked with or shared with newer members, it's that 3 to 5 weeks is that really part.
Because it's those times that we have to determine. So many people, they join and they say this, how do I negotiate my salary? And I'm like, whoa, what are you targeting?
It's the process. It's the roadmap. It's the roadmap.
Now we know what you're targeting. Let's get your resume and LinkedIn optimized. That takes a little bit. Hey, well, let's get automation set up. So, there's, we have to, but at the end of the day, I like, because you said that we had a plan, because if you don't have framework, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a blueprint, how can you be successful at anything? You're on the product space now. You're not going to go just wing it and develop and send out this new project and try to guess, hopefully, right? And here's another thing too. You brought up something very important, and we'll kind of wrap up with this, is you said to be successful, you have to be self-motivated. Like, we have the plan, but you have to come to us, right? But at the end of the day, what leader is going to be successful if they're not collaborating with other people? Right? If they're not self-motivated, so if you're watching this and you're a director, VP, or an executive, there is no way you made it to that level by yourself. You've got education. You probably hired coaches. You probably went through certifications programs, or at a minimum, you've watched how-to YouTube videos from Stanford or stuff. Like, I watch those sometimes, and hey, quick tip, they're actually kind of inspiring. I look at like how to make complex decision-making process. It was like a live video at Stanford, and I was like getting all excited, like, this is really good information. But how can you be successful as a leader if you don't have these traits? So a lot of the time you do, it's just hard to get motivated, right?
Well, it's hard to get motivated. It's hard to weed through. And a lot of times, I think, at least for myself, I was in a position where I really wanted and needed a job. And I think if it's more in the I have to job, there's a panic mode or a really uncomfortable part. And I think that's actually one of the things that we talked about in our first session was learn to become uncomfortable. And uncomfortable is challenging yourself in growth. And we've all been there. We've all done that, not always recognized it, but especially when it's new and uncomfortable. And for me, it was talking about myself and asking for help. I got over those hurdles really quickly because I wanted to find success in what my next challenges were. And the team was very gracious in those opportunities to get me over those hurdles.
That's excellent, Steve. Thanks so much. I wish you the best of luck in your new role.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And we'll keep in touch. And if there's anything I can do, please let me know.